ESL presents ESL Challenger League in partnership with Intel, Acer Predator, DHL,
Welcome back everyone to more ESL Challenger League action. We're now over in South America. We had a long EU day already, even though it was only a two-mapper, and my co-commentator knows all about that. Freddie, otherwise known as Grammy Ranar, how are you feeling?
What's up? I'm doing really well. Thank you very much for all the kind words. I had a great time in Europe. It was an amazing game, the most normal Nemesis game you're ever gonna watch. It's just, yeah, we had a 12-6 lead turn into 5 overtimes, and then a 12-9 lead turn into an overtime. But in the end, it was the K27 team who just can't stop winning. They're looking to win another tournament, so exciting stuff going on in Europe. But South America, it looks like we are destined to crown a new victor eventually.
Exactly right. I mean, that's one of the things I noticed immediately when we hopped into this particular cup for ESL Challenger League. I mean, I've been a regular, of course, since kind of the very beginning, watching all these South America ECLs and seeing how they're going down. And of course, you are in the same boat with that one. But yeah, there's been quite a lot of less invitations accepted by some of the more higher ranked teams for this particular online cup, and it's given an opportunity for one of these sort of lower ranked organisations in South America to really get a shot at making Pro League through that regional final that we'll have toward the end of the season. And for Keystars and ShindeN, they have a great opportunity for that here.
Yeah, ShindeN for me had a crazy start to the year. I don't know if you can cast your mind back to the IEM Rio America's Closed Qualifier. Obviously, we both did it. ShindeN were like the massive upset of like every top dog was in there, basically from the region. ShindeN not only beat MIBR in the open qualifier pre-HLTV stage, but they took a map off Bestia, eliminated 9Z, eliminated Imperial, and then ultimately were beaten by Bestia. But look, they went down kicking and screaming with a double overtime, and they also went pretty far in the previous ESL Challenger Cup, but had to forfeit in the lower bracket semi-finals, which feels very disappointing. So to me, ShindeN are the kind of like maybe unlikely destined winners of this event.
Yeah, I kind of feel that too. I think looking at all the names that are left, as we've been looking through them here, of course, on your screens, the most well-known name, it's crazy I'm saying this because you wouldn't think I would be, but the most well-known name is probably ShindeN out of every single team left in the tournament.
Yeah.
You could argue maybe it's Bounty Hunters, maybe it's Keystars. Of course, Keystars is an organisation very well known from the Brazilian scene from the good old days, back over 10 years ago at this point. They have a sort of much lower ranked team now, of course, and we're going to see them play out against ShindeN today. But yeah, I do think ShindeN are probably the favourites. They do have some of the more talented players on their roster of this particular cup, and we're going to get a chance to see exactly that today.
Yeah, so they made an addition. So they've basically buffed their firepower for this year. So they've brought in two very active players, Fruguti and Tomajed. Fruguti only has played a handful of games. I think it's 26 maps. Tomajed was a part of the team that did so well in those games I was talking about at the start of the year. But Fruguti's come in to replace Nacho, and I feel like that specific one is a massive upgrade. Fruguti doesn't come with masses and massive experience. He's actually a pretty new player, all things considered. But Trav, like, I'm not gonna lie, he's shooting super hard, and because of that, albeit not against the best level of opposition, ShindeN have done mostly winning since his addition.
Yeah, also, like, just talking about the team in general, to talking about some of their individuals. Naz, as you've been talking about too, like, there was a reason why he was on Bestia for quite a while, right? Like, I mean, he was on the poster boy organization for Argentinian Counter-Strike. You might argue that 9Z could be there, but they're kind of
different
more known
kettle
for,
of fish.
Yeah, different kettle of fish. They're more known for being more obvious in tier 1 events, and also having players from Uruguay and Chile and all around South America. So I think I'm really happy to see Naz playing that well, because he was more often than not one of the you could argue one of the tough role players on the best team too.
He plays awful roles.
He does play awful roles, and he's doing very well. And as when it comes to Keyd Stars and their roster, this is a really hard one to predict for me, because I have seen a lot of these individuals play in separate teams in days gone by. I've seen Keyd Stars maybe covered them once relatively recently, but when it comes to all the players, I've definitely covered all of them just in previous teams that they were on. I mean, Lash, for example, I definitely covered him when he was in Uara, about a couple of years ago at this point. So the one thing that I am shocked about it is, I think if you were to talk about the epitome of a journeyman Brazilian player, it would be Kutzmaretz. He's still going somehow. I'm not sure how. My guy has been in so many different teams, and he's still plying his trade at a pretty decent level in South America.
What's crazy is that he hasn't actually been around for that long, but I think we've just seen him so much around this level that he's imprinted into our minds.
Yes.
So as much as the journeyman is a topic, and journeyman by also, he's not very good at he's not amazing individually, bless his heart. I've got a weird thing to throw at you, and I'm not sure if you've noticed this. Keyd Stars signed Bartan at the beginning of the year, a 2 times major player who's represented Godsent, Team 1, Red Cannons, Legacy, even Gaming Gladiators recently. Brother played 6 games of Counter-Strike, 2 LANs, an open qualifier, and then they replaced him. This is supposed to be one of the better players from the region of South America, just kind of in general, if you go off his accomplishments. And yet they were like, yeah, no. So they've actually brought in Exrubia and Matios, who have played only 16 maps, to replace Danico and Bartan. So just a lot of roster changes coming in recently. But so far with these players, they've attended so many LANs, and they've also won a CCT. But unfortunately, their successes on LAN and CCT, look, they're against pretty bad teams.
Yeah, that is the unfortunate part of it, right? When you have to look back and see how they've done, and you'd be like, oh my goodness, okay, they've won a CCT. Like you said, they've actually made a couple of decent runs, but at the same time, you look at who they've faced, and it's not exactly that impressive. I mean, look at that CCT, and you see they've beaten Bounty Hunters, LP, and Uara. And, sorry, not Uara, Vasco and X-Crew. Sorry, I was looking at the other side of the bracket.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that is not that impressive. Sure, winning is great, but you could argue they maybe could be one of those teams at this level that has had their VRS inflated vaguely, even from just 1 or 2 wins on LAN. That can inflate it a little bit, especially if they're BO1 wins in some of these smaller tournaments, right? It can kind of inflate it slightly and not really give you the true picture of how good this team actually is. And that's why we do think that, I mean, I say we think, I haven't even asked you yet, but I think we do think that
every word you say.
ShindeN are probably going to win this game for my money, but we shall see. Here's a veto in front of your eyes right now. We've got Dust 2 coming in for Keyd Stars. We've got Overpass actually coming in for ShindeN, which does surprise me slightly.
Yeah.
Of an odd veto, because of course, as we mentioned in our little call before we went live, Keyd Stars have kind of a strange map pool, which we'll get onto in a minute, and we do have Nuke as a decider if we need it.
So Keyd Stars, the big gap in the veto is Inferno and Anubis, but they have played a singular game of Anubis. They've beaten Pug Deson Desto. Nice.
Nice try, man. Nice try.
In an online Bet Boom Storm Season 1, where they ended up coming second in the event. So they played that once in the regular season. I was hoping that ShindeN would not ban Anubis and just like see what happens, but as it turns out, they play it safe. It's a pretty like by-the-by veto by large, right? With the Dust 2 and the Nuke being in there, it's just the Overpass. I would have maybe expected, if anything, ShindeN to pick Nuke, and yeah, the Overpass has really caught me by surprise, and I don't exactly know how to process it. Even like an Ancient for ShindeN, sure, it's not the most well played, like not most played, but they've beaten Fluxo, Red Canids, and Fluxo on it. It's not bad.
Wait, Fluxo, Red Canids, and Fluxo? They beat Fluxo twice. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you can say it like that, but that's boring.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's like,
okay. Respect.
I don't know. This Overpass, like, I don't really get it.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. It is a little bit strange. I mean, I don't mind. Like, I love watching Overpass and casting Overpass, so
it's fun.
It makes me happy. But yeah, that does confuse me ever so slightly as well. One thing that I think does deserve to be said is that if maybe some of you guys are looking at HLTV, maybe that's how you got to watch this game, or you clicked through Twitch, maybe you're a fan of Keydstars themselves. Well, they do have a qualifier to play tonight. This game begins, or was supposed to begin, 3 minutes ago. I'm going to go by my time zone. At 10 PM my time in the UK. They have a game at midnight for the PGL Astana South America Open Qualifier. That would be one game they'd need to win in that Open Qualifier to get through to the closed qualifier, in which you've got the likes of, Odic, 9Z, Dash, and Effectabura there. Actually, decent teams, especially two decent teams there that you would want to try and play or try to trade against to try and get to a huge land like PGL Astana. They have future cups to play. Keydstars, they will be accepting more invites to play. It's only the second cup here in season 51 of ESL Challenger League. There is definitely a risk that Keydstars might have to, even though there's a 2-hour gap, this series could go too long for it. So we'll have to get back to you on that one. We will be going to a short break here, but we'll make sure to keep you up to date as to whether Keydstars will be ready to play or not. ShindeN will be hoping they're not for a free evening, but we'll see you in a few minutes. Apologies for the delay, everyone. There are many reasons for that, mainly due to the fact that both these two teams were in the process of trying to play a different tournament in the scene at the moment, but we've been able to figure things out to get us live on Dust 2. Reminder, we've got Dust 2, Overpass and Nuke, and you've got me and Freddy.
I'm ecstatic to be live. Okay, this is Keedstar's map pick of Dust 2. On the T side, though, there is going to be aggression in Underpass. And unfortunately, the T side are going to kind of get caught off in the mixture, but they still get the opening kill. Lash is able to do a 180 onto... Are we saying Ivers?
Yeah, I mean, I think as there were so many, like, three-letter nicknames in South America, I've kind of often gone for Ivies.
Ivies? Okay, I'm just happy. Ivies.
Yeah, Ivies is easy, but, you know, as I said, there's so many three-letter names. Sometimes IVZ could be the one that probably is right, but I like Ivies, personally.
Okay, well, he's dead, so that's helpful.
Hello.
Coots Moretz. Oh...
That's a Cuts Moretz moment, unfortunately, I'm afraid. Doesn't matter
but
what it's done. It's
for
baits in his teammates. Exactly. There we go. Zaruba, Matthias will get a couple of kills. That means Tomajed and the Biz don't really have much say in this pistol anymore.
Yeah, I mean, him literally just shooting and then staying alive causes so much pressure on the defense there and forces them to be like, ah, there's one long. Oh, we're dead from short. So it's a Coots Moretz moment, but it's also not going to be shown on the kill feed or the scores how impactful that actually was from him. Unfortunately, he's going to be the only player to die thus far for his squad, but ultimately the round's going to be won for Keedstar, and ShindeN are going to be dropping down 0 and 1 after making the right moves in the pistol rounds to begin with. They just, I guess, didn't connect this first engagement shot when they went underpass.
Yeah, unfortunately, also, as you were talking about for Cuts Moretz, not just the fact it won't be relayed on the scoreboard at how impactful maybe that little moment was for him, but also the round swing won't, on HLTV won't really describe that either, unfortunately for him. Anyway,
that's why HLTV rating's bad, because yeah, you can't put that into the statistics.
It can't detect it. Yeah, it can't detect it. That's unfortunate indeed. Matthias will go down toward long, 5-7 headshot, good flash assist coming in there from Tomajed. That gets him an early 5v4, and it's these sort of rounds, even though Keedstar have bought up all the rifles here in this anti-force buy. 2 AKs, 2 Galil still available. These are so damn losable, and these are the important rounds in any game.
Yeah, it's for Guti. We were talking about the impact he's had since joining this roster. A big part of why ShindeN might be able to actually start putting themselves down as one of the better teams in this region, not just like a tier 2 South American squad. And he's going to find a second with the 5-7. Big impact, but has he done enough? 2v3, Xrubia, low HP, stuck on an island and long, but Coots Moretz, do they realise he's on the bomb site? Doesn't matter. Tomajed, also a new signing this year, is going to find a very clinical headshot, and ShindeN a very quick punch back.
Yeah, a little reload there on the jiggle, and maybe didn't realise that his opponent was still going to be holding the line with that 5-7. One bullet was all that was required. I'm sure he wasn't going to win the round anyway, but frustrating for ShindeN. I mean, in general, frustrating for Keedstar because it was... I literally spoke about it. It's these rounds. These are the ones that are so important. I mean, forced by wars seem to begin so easily these days, especially at this level, where maybe there aren't as many decent protocols put into place to deny these forced buys from being, you know, potent. And yeah, they got caught. And the worst part is 2 AKs and a Galil over on that CT side for free.
Yeah, it's all of a sudden a good start for ShindeN after a pretty dire pistol round. I do respect Kutzmaret's going for those type of Deagle encounters.
Well, he got deagled last round, so he's thinking, look, I want to do the same to you. I want some revenge.
I mean, right now, the CT side, they're in such a comfortable position. They take that early long control, they leave Fruity stationed up, and they just kind of play bomb sites. Keystars, they're going to contact their wave through mid, which is going to actually be very valuable for them considering the big lack of utility they have. So if they were using utility to clear out this space, it actually would just make the site execute super difficult. But with a smoke into CT, I can imagine they're just going to pop up short as soon as possible.
Committed is making a little bit of noise, so he does need to be careful. Tech9 will force his way forward, but big damage early already. Thankfully, he's going to stay alive for quite a long period of time. That's going to be more than enough to hold on. Lash will get one with the scout. A nice shot, and a nice shot there with the deagle as well from Zaruba, but no more than that, and it will be ShindeN who will get control of the early game. And as we get this full eco to come in here for Keystars, Freddie, I just had a quick check about the clashes that we were talking about earlier. Both Keystars and Game Hunters are playing tonight in ESL Challenger League, and also we're playing against each other in the PGL Astana Open Qualifier in South America, and Keystars were the team to get the forfeit win in that qualifier over Game Hunters, so maybe there was a little bit of gamesmanship at play there, so who was going to take the forfeit?
Yeah, because that game went live in the qualifier, and me and Trav were sitting here, and I was like, is this a game of chicken? Of who's gonna... Because the Game Hunters, Bounty Hunters game started, like, in ECL, like, a good, like, 10 plus minutes ago, right? Like, it's been live for... Or, sorry, 10 minutes before this game started. Yeah. So I was like, have ShindeN just won the game of chicken of, like, no, you leave first. And have somehow won out the forfeit win, and then also made it onto this game without losing a forfeit map. If so, I don't know whether to be thinking of them in a scummy connotation, or do I give them respect?
Game's game, brother.
Game is the game.
Maybe that's what we should be saying. Game's game. I don't know.
I kind of respect it.
I am surprised that's the way it's worked out, but obviously there was the reason why we started about 25 to 30 minutes late is because there's probably a lot of discussion behind the scenes as to who was going to do what and when they were going to be ready, etc, etc. So we're going for a fast B play here. Keystars going through the Molotov, but look how separated they are by the utility. Gives Naz freebies. Sure, Abyss will go down. And they don't actually have to go on this, because they've still got the bomb. It's not like those first two players had the bomb on their push out toward the site. So actually, Keystars have an opportunity to reset here.
Yeah, I mean, it's just very simple things like the flashes just missing on the execute. I don't really know how much it would have done, but it's still the sentiment. I think if I'm entering out and I'm like, oh, well, the flashes are missed, that's just not going to fill me with confidence. A big whiff on the York shot. Kutzmaret should be dead right now, but instead it's still a 3v3, and he's even going to get his own back. 3 kills for him in this round. His first kills in the game, and Naz, rotating from the B bomb side, can't remedy the situation.
Yeah, really nice, impactful round there from Kutzmaret. We're kind of, vaguely clowning him at the beginning of the series, just talking about how, he's really done, that much in his career. He's not exactly the greatest of individuals ever, either, but this was really clean. Look at this, perfectly judged, good spacing, and good decision-making overall from Keystars to not fully commit into a B when there was no reason to. They might have, felt like they wanted to when they knew there was one player left toward B, but time had elapsed. And probably they thought, okay, well, there's going to be rotations in play now. We've got the bomb, we don't need to go. And in the end, that proved to be a good call.
Well, so far so good for the the keyed stars as they've picked out the guns round, picked up the gun rounds. Get a little bit lucky there, though, I'd say, in that previous round. I feel like after the opening engagements, it should have been a ShindeN victory. So the Argentine roster kind of fumbling the ball there a little bit. But a new day, a new dawn.
As they say, Freddie, if you are to fumble, that means you once had possession. That's a positive.
That is an incredibly positive outlook on life.
You know
what? Maybe we need
I've
more
been
of
waiting
that.
to use that one for months.
Maybe we need more than that. More of that.
Maybe. Oh, big name. Matthias down to 65 off the back of that. But another
Sorry.
clean entry from Kutzmaretz. No chance for Fraguti there at all. For Fraguti. That is definitely a tongue twister. Ivy's back toward long. Two players trying to advance up onto the bomb site itself and remove him. And once again, it's Kutzmaretz to find the headshot.
Goat.
Fair play to him.
Sorry, dude's just entered twice in a row on the A-bomb site.
I'm going to start calling him Cuts because there's Moretz, there's more Cuts.
Ka-chow. I've never seen someone have fire quite literally on their screen, yet they're not being burnt. Interesting spreading of the utility there. But Cuts has got a back-to-back triple kill. Okay. That was a phenomenal round from him. And there's, again, not really much else to say apart from, damn.
Yeah, that's all it was, really. Like, there was no real complicated, elaborate call in that round. Went up towards short, threw some okay utility. You described the Molotov well. Yeah, and Kutzmaretz is having a whale of a time. You could have forgiven Keyed Stars for somewhat falling away after how the beginning of the game had panned out with ShindeN winning the force and then winning the immediate round after to break the economy. Finally here, though, they are trying to make something happen, and I like that. It's already worked out. Even though this is their eco, technically, they do have this 1M4 available, and it's working out well for a couple of kills on a biz already. Lash is still in toward suicide. Oh, very awkward to play from there. Thankfully, they were pushing him down. And with the fact that they have lower tunnels presence, that push has been stopped. So, no half-buy round win here, unless Abiz continues to get kills through a smoke. Zaruba is 2 HP, does need to be a little bit careful, but I think Keyed Stars have found the answer.
It's also, in my eyes, a positive round where it doesn't feel like ShindeN have been beaten because someone's got a nice entry. Like, it feels a lot more of a secure round, okay, albeit there was that nice tunnels push from ShindeN, but that was also just a low purchase round, and okay, there was this double opener from Abiz, but the way that the default just kind of holds onto the round, it's like the first time on the guns that Keyed Stars haven't won a round because, oh, Cuts has just got a triple entry on the A-bomb site type beat. So it's a positive for the future, but I need to see that kind of same formula in action against like proper gun rounds, you know, with IVs on the AWP type beat. So that's my kind of maybe one qualm with Keyed Stars. It's like they're 4-3 up. Is it consistent?
We shall see. Flash over the top to pop just a little bit higher up in the tunnel, so it does blind some players on short if they are to be there. Thing is, for ShindeN in this round, is the utility is pretty limited. They do have a good number of resmokes still available, but there's still a lot of time in the round left to use them. Good frag from Tomajed. Multiple players pushing short. I think maybe looking to try and take the initiative once they had realised there were 2 players there. And Kutzmaretz, he'll also try and take the initiative once he knew there were 2 players pushing short on the other side. So he runs into the AWP, gets caught, and Lash is last alive. They don't even have the bomb anymore, do the T side. Shadow seen, as we'll push forward. Molotov to try and keep himself alive, but he is going to be pressured from both sides, so unlikely he'll keep this up, I think. There will be a bit of pressure from the ShindeN players, and they've done well in this round to kind of get a good timing with their presence on short to make sure they had trade potential, which in the end they didn't even need.
Okay, they finally just like hold the A bomb site ShindeN, and there's no colossal fumble on crazy entry kills. Lash is just going to be saving the AWP as this game gets tied up once more. A very contestable affair on Vivo Keydstars. I thought Vivo Keydstars maybe was their academy team when I was looking at the qualifier earlier, but no,
True.
It's just a similar, you know, as young Sharks who are just Sharks. Very confusing. I don't know if you remember that.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
I think that was like...
they're just Sharks.
Exactly. Like some tournaments would call them Young Sharks, and they still maybe go underneath that tag sometimes when they have like their official name they apply to a tournament with. But you know, everyone calls them Sharks. Like some of them are young, but they've been around for a while now, so it doesn't count.
Doesn't feel genuine. Young normally associated with academy teams.
Like Young Gods.
Yes.
Or Aurora Young Blood.
Oh, you're on fire. There's a lot of NXTs around. But there's only one Ivies, and this time he's not getting Ferrari peaked. He's actually claiming almost 4 kills. Doesn't get the fatal blow, but does connect on Lash. And that's basically just round over. It was a nice... okay, is it round over? It is South America, so you never really know. But like it was nice kind of combination and gameplay to get the first kill with nades and smoke, good angle. But the other two were just he peeked them and they weren't looking. Matios almost lines up 2. And even though the bomb goes down, Fraguti will find the second of the round. Both players was able to eliminate on 4 HP as ShindeN take the lead.
It was actually quite important there that Fraguti and Naz, even though they did take massive damage to that HE that was thrown in towards CT, it was important they were together when they pushed up on the ramp, because if one kill came back there in the favour of Keystars, and we see the beginning to that recovery here, that duel there, when they were both pushing through that smoke, they didn't want to give them any space. They wanted to try and also close down onto that bomb site while one of those 2 players was occupied with planting the bomb. So yeah, going together there was important, otherwise that could have gone awry with that massive nade damage. Thankfully, of course, the final 2 players on Keystars were also like 31 and 21 HP, which didn't help. Didn't help things for them. It only helped things for ShindeN.
Okay, low purchase for the Keydstars. Can they find the key to this round? They have found the bullet to Naz's head, and Abiz is just alone. There's no one near him, Trav. He needs to get 3, and he gets 1. Is that round over? Coot's merits hasn't been cleared. He's got a Glock though. Wait, the Orc's not looking at him. Oh my god, okay, he gets backstabbed. 3v3, a singular AK's been picked up, but it's not in the hands of the player with armor.
It's not so doable when you've got the B bomb site. I always say in these situations, you've got tunnels control, who is usually going to make it a lot easier for you, but he only gets the 1. Matthias will step up to the AK, and the PT-50 is not connecting. He's got a couple of bullets left, and he can't find Matthias. Oh dear. That's one they've let slip they shouldn't have.
I just don't really know. Like, it's just... there is never, ever a time when 2 opening kills, or like 2 1-for-1s, should happen like that when you are against pistols. And it should never just capitulate a whole part of the map. And understandably, ShindeN are taking a tactical timeout because this has been such a tumultuous game for them. They've been, like, this very well should be 8-2. I know that sounds crazy, but it's like, okay, Cuts doesn't get those first bullet entries. Round's probably won for ShindeN on A. They don't just screw up against pistols. Well, it's a round win. Like, ShindeN have lost sloppy rounds where they have been in the position to succeed.
It's a very good point, because all of Cuts' kills have got Keystars 2 rounds, pretty much.
Yeah,
Like,
he
it was
got
all
triples,
him.
and they were nuts
Exactly.
kills as well. That even I was like, yeah, he's never doing that again. And they did it again.
Yeah. Oh, blind out long as well, Torne. That's annoying for IVs to get caught like that. So yeah, they can just feel like things are kind of against them a little bit. Because they will be running the game back in their heads and thinking, how on earth are we 5-all? We've been the better team.
Flank, Naz gets a lot of damage on our boy Cuts. But unfortunately, damage does not equate to a kill. Everyone's here though for ShindeN. Maybe it's their time to get a little bit lucky, a little bit of magic going. Unlucky. That nade in the smoke probably couldn't have been in a better timing. Look, Keystars could leave, Trav. They could. They have so much time, but maybe they feel like they're pressured because of Naz getting that contact in top mid. They feel like they're boxed in. They're not. All 4 players are here, and they are running down the clock so much so where that now they can't leave. They have to commit towards the A bomb side, and ShindeN also know this. They went for a swing. They're playing more reserve now, and these pistols up close and personal are doing the job. But Lash, that is a crazy wallbang to be connecting, and now Abiz, unfortunately, with all his teammates falling, he's probably just going to have to go and save for the final round, as they have put everything and the kitchen sink into this round.
Yeah, that was actually a really good take. It didn't look like it was going to work out that way. Lash got that really important kill. We saw how many players there were for ShindeN around that A-bomb site. Just taking that extra player, I think it was Fraguti, who was behind the first box on the site. That just relaxed things entirely. And they're guaranteed now a tie on the half.
I mean, this almost guarantees a 7th, because just look at where ShindeN's money are. As mentioned, they fully invested into that round because they were single stage loss. They only get $1,900 in this round. It would ordinarily just be a simple eco if they were in the normal field of play. But because it's final round, they have to go big. 3 MP9s. The M4 save, that's just been tagged to 26 HP, and a scout, Keystars mocking their opposition's economy by buying that double AWP in T-spawn.
Yeah, might as well make use of it. When everything's getting reset in a matter of 1 minute 30 anyway. The bid's already tagged down to 26. Bomb's going to rotate back over toward the B side of the map now. We still got the defaulter outside long doors. Molotov in towards short. And Abiz actually gets away with a kill, even though he was low. Cuts is able to be cut down. And he'll end the half with only having massive impact in 2 rounds in the entire half. Thankfully, he did win his team around on both occasions. A very dry push into B there from Zaruba, though. That was definitely a little bit questionable, let's say. And Matthias and Lash will manage to make up for it at least. They do have the B-bomb set under their control now. Resmoke on the doors, Molotov on the window, but Lash is going back in tunnels to go peeking with the bomb, but he's still able to find Naz, even though that could be questionable, peeking with that bomb. He's done a wonderful job to find the kill and get the final kill of the half as well. 12-5 for Lash. He's looking great, and Keystars are up 7-5. See you in a few minutes.
Their map pick, taking a lead 7-5. It wasn't the cleanest. They even won the pistol round. They couldn't convert much after that. So the question is, can they actually find that sustained consistency now heading onto their defense?
We'll have to see, and I think ShindeN overall are going to be kicking themselves. I mean, I feel like they had control of the game early on, after winning that force buy, after winning the conversion to break the economy of Keyed Stars. Kutzmaretz has these 6 kills in 2 rounds, which he's still on now. It's really turned those 2 rounds and really got Keyed Stars into the game. It made a huge difference. Great impact from him. And now they have been able to scrape a lead, which did not seem possible. Anyway, as we start the second half and the pistol is underway, immediate dualies upgrade for Naz as he finds Tornate. Lash trying to recover that in mid on the edge of the smoke, and it's a really great angle to play. Well, that smoke's still up. He knows he has an angle to use, and Naz wasn't ready for it.
Four v 4. Tomijed trying to sell a fake that it's a mid-split. Unfortunately, no robotic aim for him in this round. And despite him dying in mid, the entries on the B-bomb site are magnificent. Keyed Stars try and flush out the attackers before the bomb gets planted, but end up just all kind of falling apart.
Honestly, I don't even mind that. Like, as we know, just so difficult to retake B. It looks silly. They're just launching themselves in like that. And you could argue, look, they could have done it a little bit more cohesively. I think that's very fair to say. But I don't mind trying that. They weren't just all in position at the right time either, obviously, to make sure they all leapt in at the same time. So they give it a go. They try and stop it from being an after plant. I get it. Just fails miserably on this occasion, I'm afraid. Naz, holding with the Galil, 35 bullets on toward long. Will be down soon. Does swing wider than he should have done though. Should have probably heard those players coming through. Thankfully he's got Faguti there to help out. He'll manage to fall away. He'll use as many bullets as possible when he has that Galil, obviously. I believe we have the magazine update in play for Challenger League, right? So
yeah, I think it's just been put into really everything now.
Other than Blast, which is, you can forgive that because it's a tier 1 event, right? But I think for everything online, I'm pretty sure we're playing the update straight away. Definitely was the case in Nobwin the other day.
Yeah, I think most online events have. But this is a good start to the second half of ShindeN, where they're able to convert their second round, kind of, I guess, unlike Keyed Stars. The luxury of Keyed Stars playing that eco, so they're getting out the rifles as quick as possible. And all 5 players stay alive for ShindeN. Faguti with a nice little 3k as well. I feel like him getting the confidence and the ball rolling is actually always a really important factor. So even at the ecos, just farming them up, getting some life in him. Shocked that he's still alive after this round as well, which is also something to add.
Yeah, true. Gets away with it though. Some of the individuals, of course, on ShindeN we were talking up before the game. We've covered quite a lot of these guys before. Actually, even on Keyed Stars, I definitely remember covering Lash, who we're going to see on the sniper. Now, I try and build him up. Unfortunately, gets owned by Tomijed. Kind of a slow reface by Kutzmaretz, but does well to get that 1 kill and recover the AWP. I like that. Good move. Especially keeping the AWP away from Ivies, who only has a scout still in this beginning of the second half. Hasn't upgraded yet. Hasn't even gone to a proper rifle. Proper rifle, in inverted commas.
This is a phenomenal position, though, for Keyed Stars. And I don't... Oh, Naz is dead. No way he gets out of this one, right? the fact that he even gets a kill there, Trav, I would consider a success story. But Keystars have just cleared out all of this information. They know tunnels is clear. They know mid and short is clear. They're making the gamble read that it's going to be an A-site hit. The AWP on the angle misses. Lash has fallen, so Matios has picked it up in his place. And I think luckily it's not going to be needed. Does get the final kill, but it's Ruby that does the heavy lifting there as he just, if I'm not mistaken, swings and gets 2 as they line up.
Lovely. Good recovery considering that's how the round began for them as well. They just had good buddy system moments there, making sure they don't just pick anything completely dry. And sure, Zaruba does just get 3. But the first opening moments of the round were pretty solid. That's what you got to do on Dust 2. You can't just sit back. More often than not, if you sit back and just don't change things up, if you let the T side dictate, they'll just run you over. Playing from the sides doesn't really work. You need to be proactive. That's exactly what they were doing there. Expecting like a little change up maybe later on in the half as well to maybe double push tunnels and stuff like that. We already saw it from ShindeN with the Biz when he had that one hero M4. They didn't really do it massively when they on the proper gun rounds. I'm hoping to see that on gun rounds from Keystars.
Okay, so not as much pressure being applied to the T-side this round. They actually have some breathing room in middle. And with the little utility they have, they're going to try and pop out on the A-bomb site, keep things nice and simple. And Keystars had made the wrong read. This time, instead of putting the majority towards A, they put the majority towards B. So this bomb's going to get planted in what I was going to say is a 5v4, but, sorry, 5v5, but Abyss gets caught off guard. So now it's that advantage in favor for Keystars as they can just group up and hit the bomb site at their pace.
Tomajed playing corner of the site. Cuts now creeping up. As you say, like 5v4 retake, these are just not easy. Even though they've got some utility left, these angles are usually really hard to clear. But Tornado's done a brilliant job. 2 quick headshots, all down to Ivy's. 1v3 now. Bomb ticking down so low, however. Can he waste the time enough to deny it? There's 1 kill, but just not on that defuse at all. And because of that, Ivy's is given a 1v3.
Okay, I will agree to some extent that, like, yeah, they didn't play that 1v3 too ideally, and it was in part to the time. Like, the bomb's half-ticked as they get this final. Actually, way more half-ticked. But Trav, like, dude, he hits a spray.
That was pretty clean.
Like, that was, okay, I do firmly agree with you, not the best played round, but, man, he connects his shots in a pretty seismic manner. And that is heartbreak for Keystars as they are not able to maintain a lead. And instead, it's going to be 8-8. They're not able to convert back-to-back gun rounds. As now ShindeN are up against a lower purchase. This for them should just be survival. Don't die. Keep players alive. And Tomajed and Abyss, they're probably going to confirm that that will be the case, because look how bad the money is for this ShindeN side as they're about to take a 9-8 lead.
Yeah, huge moment in the game. That could be a pretty decent turning point. Sure, Keystars will be buying next round, whatever the case, and Cuts has kept $4,000 in the bank, so Lash will have an AWP. You know, Lash has been pretty good so far. So, will be handy, but maybe Ivy's will be a bit better. Don't forget, those are the 2 sniper players, 2 AWP players for these 2 teams. I said sniper because Ivy's been using a scout quite a lot, let alone the AWP. And of course, his clutch came with the rifle, so making that AK look clean. Ash tries to get 1 more kill, but not allowed to. Naz will finish it off. Abyss with 3. Make sure they win the round cleanly with 4 alive. No, another one of these two teams has really built up too much money in any scenario yet in this game. It's been very back and forth. We'll see if ShindeN can do that right now.
Ivor's almost fair to start there. It was the right idea for Lash, just doesn't quite connect the shot. Full long control, but no more utility for Matios. So if they force him off the angle, then he has to just kind of retreat. But it looks like ShindeN are gonna just commit to taking this short control. And really the only utility left is on Lash at 1 minute and 10 seconds. There's a singular smoke on Xrubia towards the B bomb site, and I wouldn't be surprised if they drop this smoke or just leave him here, because look, there's been no pressure put towards B, and I think that's why it's important that Abiz comes over, because he just needs to say to Tane, like, you can't play mid like you are. And Xrubia, oh, he gets very lucky there, but that kill is massive, as it just puts ShindeN in this really uncomfortable situation at 35 seconds where they've got no map control, they've put no real pressure anywhere, and they've used a lot of their utility to get nothing in the end. And there's 20 seconds left.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good, does it? Zaruba does get a bit fortunate in that scenario, but if he gets one more kill, he'd be delighted. Does go down, but look at the damage. 24 HP on 2 players, and surely that's going to be enough, but it's a bit whiffy from Torne. Where is that plant? 8 seconds, can they cross in time? Big. Yes, they can. Oh my goodness, how on earth have they dragged this one to a 3v2 after plant? Matt is trying to recover things. Peeking from window, going straight in with a flash, but it's not timed well. Was that a T flash or a CT flash? I couldn't even see.
That was a CT flash.
Yeah, did not timed well at all. That's why I thought, okay, I should have stuck to my guns. Lash, unfortunately, he's not going to be keeping his gun. This all does not look like it's going to be surviving. Oh my goodness. Jumped out of the round by Naz. That is one that has completely escaped the grasp of Keydstars.
A game of margins as well, Trav, because Xrubia, he dies on the back of the bomb site, right? He dies on platform. Didn't have to peek. Do you know why? Because that Molotov missed. If he had just taken contact and survived, maybe it's a different story. Alongside that, Tomajet cuts off the rotation and survives on 2 HP. Those are 2 micro things, micro details that if had changed, maybe Keydstars win the round. But instead, it's ShindeN somehow keeping 3 alive. Your guess is as good as mine as how they've done that, which is really important because their money has just been so bad. They finally actually look like they're in a position where, oh, there's not 3 Galils. Oh, there's actually money. Ooh, wowzers. Okay.
See you next round,
cheerio.
son.
Yeah, see you next round, and hopefully your team can carry the weight without you. It's a big scalp.
It is. Molly used as well for cuts of position. Should spread, and it is. Forces
really
into
good.
the open. Just good diligence. Due diligence, I think they call that one. Decent protocol. Make sure that's clear, knowing it's a pistol round. And of course, I think they died from that position earlier on in the half as well to Lash. So, important. Yeah, incredible. Oh my goodness. Don't get burnt, and don't keep going into anywhere where that scout can catch you. A second headshot. Going for the full Krebeni, except on the CT side. That's what we're going to be calling it now. Only when it's a T-side play, though. Only when it's brought up randomly as a force on these rounds, which we... in the second round of the game. He's got a third. Okay. The CT Krebeni. You know what? I'll give it to him. If he's going to do it...
Doesn't have the
3
same
headshots. Oh my goodness. One more on Lash, which is great to get the kill, but... in the end, the Deagles are the 2 that finish it off, and they've managed to find a free AWP and 2 free AKs. It could not be better.
It's like the micro Krebeni or the half Krebeni.
The
That's
half
crazy,
crab.
though. The half crab. It's that kill on Tomajed that's just like, unlucky, dude. Unlucky, man. What can you do about that? What can you do about that? This is the second time this game that ShindeN have lost to a Force Spy, by the way. And they're still in the lead. But this round is for all the marbles. They lose this, they've got no money. It should be a guaranteed 11. And right now they're doing all the right things as 2 kills come flooding in. That's that's Naz upgrading to an AK and Matios now stuck between 2 immovable objects. And ShindeN, I do love the fact they lose to a scout and then just play the most perfect round of Counter-Strike afterwards.
I know, right? My word. That is really frustrating one for Keystars. Again, an opening was given to them in this game, but they, unlike maybe some of the rounds in the first half, were unable to take it. ShindeN will be, I mentioned it in the end of that first half. ShindeN will be watching back this game, maybe, at some point. Maybe they'll just ignore it forever because of how it's gone. Just put it into the back of your mind and never look at it again. But they'll be looking at it and saying, how are we not like 11-4 up, let alone 11-9?
That's what I said in like the first half, remember? I was like, it was like, yeah, it's like, this game could have been so one-sided, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles. And I think a lot of people, when they're playing, will be like, oh yeah, I don't know what that accent was, sorry. They'll be like, oh
It's
yeah,
late.
that was so lucky of them. So no, you lost those rounds. It's your fault. It's your problem.
Well, let's see if Keystars have any life left in them on what is their map pick. As a reminder, Overpass coming up second. That is a bit more of a middle ground map between these two. Both of them play it a little bit, but not maybe excellently. Might change how the series does go down. Tournay will get his one, but doesn't get allowed to fall away by Ivy. He's looking to go in for more. Cuts is retaking that position close mid-doors. Actually a good position to be in from here, especially with Zaruba's support, but they're going to hear them running away toward tunnels. Should be a lot of information here for Keystars, but can they get rotations into play in time? I don't think they can, you know, if they do go B in the end.
Oh, what an entry. Double entry, Tomajed, Ivy's. Ivy's is having one of those games with the AWP, and that's why I was actually so... Oh, speak of the devil. Maybe that was a bit of an important shot to miss, and Mr. Cuts, we were talking about impact frags. Whenever he gets a kill, they win the round. Has he done enough? It's so awkward, but Ivy's has rotated in, and he's going to be able to support Abiz, which just, I think, has lost the window of opportunity. Like, if Abiz had died instantly there, then Ivy's wouldn't have been in position, but unfortunately the Yorper is there ready and waiting. And that force buy they lost, I remember when Ivy's died, I was like, well, I hope that doesn't matter.
Yep, true. And I think now ShindeN have finally broken through and have been able to find an answer. Matthias on an MP7, Tournay on a FAMAS. The buy is acceptable when you've still got Lash on the AWP. I just don't think they're going to have much left now. ShindeN are the favourites for this game. Matthias trying to push the issue, but maybe not aware that Naz is already out on blue box. Now Cuts is in the open toward long, can't escape. Naz will make sure that 3v3 is retained.
Keystars are getting aggressive towards short and mid. They're clearing out the information. And if ShindeN react accordingly and just go up A, it's round over. But I really respect that all 3 players for Keystars are conjoining for this push. Lash is going to move away. Nope, he's coming back with his teammates. Naz could do very well at holding for his teammates. He will go back, but it will cost him his life. Iviz and Tomajid, well, they're boosted on each other's heads. And they still don't know all 3 players are flanking. It is unorthodox, but hell, you gotta give those rounds a shot when you're down by 3.
Yeah, fair enough. I am surprised that Ivies wasn't looking back too long with his teammate. I know that smoke was about to fade on the cross, as you can see right there, but yeah, I would have thought that you couldn't trust your entire life with your teammate in that scenario, considering that is not an easy long-range duel to take. You'd easily get caught, and yeah, happened immediately.
Probably would have sped up if I was them.
Yeah, exactly. Still got 2 opportunities though. Thing is, here we go, Freddy. You've had this happen to you twice today already. If they lose this round, which it's not the perfect round. They've got only a Tech 9 on Fraguti. They've got a couple of Galils in play. They've already lost the opening pick as well. They're going to have Nout for round 24. It's going to be pots and pans if they all go down and no one saves.
It's happening again, Trav. I'm getting another one.
You're the curse today. Let's
see.
They are
as well.
They are trying to go through the smoke. Look, like
yeah, that is. Oh, the nades. The nades.
Oh my god.
And they've got the entries. Fraguti's picked up an A1S. Naz is quite literally on 1 HP. Speaking of grenades, that's gone quite far. How has Naz just killed the long player? What is going on? Tomajed on short, peeking in, misses a shot on Tony, hits the leg shot though. Will that matter? Fraguti spots out the AWP, knows Tane's low, and it's an easy tap-in for the new kid on the block.
Oh, how has Fraguti got away with that? How has the entire team got away with winning that round? I mean, absolute madness. Naz being able to play top of the sight boxes and get 1 extra kill on 1 HP. In the end, they settled down into the 2v2, but even that wasn't too settled, was it? That was a crazy recovery, and in the end, huge frustration, I think, for the fact that that second player, was it Lash jumping in? I can't remember, honestly.
Lash had the AWP out.
Yeah, that's it. He was quick switching the AWP as he was trying to move forward to help his teammate close range. And when you got a enemy on site with that elevated angle and can pick you from any timing and any elevation, whether it's the ramp or the site itself, doing that at any point would probably be pretty ill-advised, and it proved to be the case there. It allowed Fraguti to complete the map, and now ShindeN go into their map pick of Overpass, probably feeling a lot better about their chances of a 2-0.
Yeah, I completely agree. ShindeN, has been a pretty good day for them, all things considered. The Overpass, it's bold, it's wacky, but if they continue to play like they do, I'm a believer, Trav. So, ladies and gentlemen, do not go too far, because we'll be back very shortly to see if it's a 2-0 and see if they can book their spot in the upper bracket final. It's been a crazy day of ESL Challenger today, Trav, and I'm not even confining it to one region. Europe was mental, and it was almost crazy here in South America, but ShindeN did deny any shenanigans more than had already happened, and despite them losing to numerous force buys and rounds that you don't really understand how they lost, they still win 13-10 on their opponent's map pick, but now they go on to an overpass, which we were both maybe not too sure about.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it too. I mean, it's a weird state of, maybe they could have definitely picked something different here to go toward. Both these two teams play it a little bit in South America in their regional tournaments, but not really a whole lot. ShindeN have a few more maps on record, and they do have a win against Imperial and 9Z on record too. But there, of course,
yes.
Imperial win is back in the Rio qualifiers 2 months ago now, and 9Z is about a couple of weeks ago. So, yeah, I'm not overly concerned for ShindeN. I think they should have enough to win this game. Especially considering they do have a firepower advantage over Keydstars, very obviously, in what we've seen so far. But at the same time, this map is definitely up in the air, and I think that it would not surprise me if a third did happen.
Yeah, they've played this map once with Fragruti, and they lost 13-11 against Glories, and that was actually a month ago. So they haven't played this game on an official in a month. We've seen what the core can do against literally the best teams in the region. That would lead me to have good belief. However, Cuts has just had one of his 3 rounds of the game, and he's actually just owned them. They've tried to come up towards the A-bomb site, and he's got maybe a little bit too aggressive, looking for more. Could it cost his team? No, they are more than ready to trade him out.
It could have cost them if one extra kill came through from the second player pushing up to the site. I think it was Matthias who put him down. That was the important one, because that would have brought it back into a 2v2, and then Tomajed could have come back and helped out maybe. All 3 players on the site, no real way in for Tomajed, and Lash will be the man to finish that one off. So there's a nice start for Keydstars, and you never know, right? Don't forget, this is the ShindeN pick. That means you more often than not start T-side, especially on what is a heavy CT map like Overpass.
The core can do against literally the best teams in the region. That would lead me to have just had one of his...
up a few rounds in a row.
I would be sitting here with a lot of confidence for Keydstars, but I think it's good to remember that they won the first pistol round on the T side on Dust 2 and then lost a conversion. Here, though, on the CT side, they've got a much bigger benefit, if that's the right word, because ShindeN didn't get the bomb down. So it's only like Tech 9's armor, and that's kind of what they've got to use. And 2 players have already died. 1 towards B, 1 towards Con, which has just allowed 3 players to rotate up towards A quite safely. So it's actually looking like a pretty decent start for Keydstars.
Yeah, I really don't like the no bomb plant second round force buy on T Overpass in particular.
Can't say I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just the fact they lost 2 players here. You feel like on Overpass there's so much you need to do to take sort of control of the map slowly. On T side, it's a very talked about thing. Everyone knows that's kind of how you have to go about it, to take front bathroom and take this and take that, to kind of just rush straight in more often than not. There are options over toward B, short and monster, but it's would be a bit of a throwaway round if you are to just go with a rush. And here, Keydstars keep 4 players alive, and it'll be a similar round coming up next, I'd imagine, because ShindeN are going to be happy to go for the full eco pretty much, only 1 dig on Tomajed, and Keydstars will probably be eating them up and taking up the 0 lead. And yeah, I know you would be limited on utility somewhat, but a couple of kills wouldn't go amiss. You could have gone for the first gun round on round 3, this round here instead, and been a decent threat against the MP9s and lower tier weaponry on the Keydstars side. So I don't like it, and it hasn't paid off this time either.
I think Neo wanted to prove a point once of like how he hated force buys in the second round, and he like tallied up every time he saw a force buy and a win and whatever the outcome. And I think it was also amusing enough, not necessarily to do with the wins or the losses, but the frequency of force buys in South America was much greater than every other region. So I think that is pretty good. I think we understand why. It's a bit more of a gun-ho sort of region, South America is.
Yeah,
that's why we love it. It's got that charm to it. Yeah, of course.
Thanks, man. I don't know. One thing I like about South America is that it's not always by the book Counter-Strike. Like, it gives us something to complain and talk about, at least, when we don't like something, which is handy, right?
Relish the moments. Okay, now we can start getting into the meat and potatoes of things. It's the first gun round for the T side, and they are making their way fast through short and connector. It's a bold play for Matios to go and swing there, because Coots, he was not able to support. And speaking of Mr. Coots, I think we decided on Cuts. He just ran for a mollo for Coots. He just ran for a mollo for
Cuties.
No cuties. Ran for a mollo for no real reason, and just takes a whole hefty amount of damage. And on top of that, you know, it's an interesting decision just to leave the B bomb site manned by one player in the mid round. And then if you've got 3 players A, none of them are taking information.
Yeah, Zaruba was left on an island there, that's for sure. No way out of that one. And I agree, I mean...
Pleased.
Sorry? Say that again?
I wouldn't be happy.
No, fair enough. I think with that call in general for ShindeN, sure they do everything right, but just being gifted that opening is so helpful for them. They take B properly. Just helped out by the fact that Zaruba's the only player there. Saving with 3 is fine though. Means they can buy. I think even if they all died, they would have been able to buy, but just gives them a little bit extra to work with. Important for ShindeN after, you know, they took that force buy and got caught. Important not to let Keyed Stars get away. Take the first gun round. They've done exactly that. But more economy to break down coming in. Did you know a coot is a bird, by the way? So if you said coots, even though it's not pronounced that way, a coot is a water bird, little black bird with a white bill. They live on the water and make little nests on the water, and they're like cootlings. They're not actually called cootlings. I just wanted to say that because it's funny.
Cootlings.
Well, I'll tell you, but there is one. You know puffins? I'm sure you've seen the puffin before.
I've heard of them.
Their chicks are called pufflings. And that's actually a fact. Very cute. Tomogen will entry Matthias. Bird facts with Trav at 23:41 on a Monday night. Tomogen will get all the kills in this round, other than Ivy's, who finally cut Sir out of the round. Lash now 1v2. Coming in from the monster flank. Full utility, no kit. Bomb will go down on B, and retaking with an AWP from this position is not that normal.
Honestly, I just save. And I know that's the little sleeper mode, but money not gonna have an AWP in the next round unless Tane drops one to you, but it means there will be one less rifle to go around. And yep, just gets first bullet headshotted. What a round from Tomajed. Insane on the entries, because at the majority of these hurdles, at this point onwards, he had no right in getting the majority, like those other 2 kills. Even any of those kills, they were all really good trades. And I gotta feel bad for, is it Tane who was playing towards CT, who does this like perfect nade mollo spam set in the cubby of short just to get an opening kill plus damage. He does really good work for his anchors to then just fall completely apart, and I gotta feel bad for him there a little bit, as Keedstars, they lose a pretty consequential round, and with the AWP being lost, it means the likes of Matios are going to be chilling on a 5-7. Rubia's got a FAMAS. There's not a single kit in sight, and low utility on the rest. But Trav, I'm going to hit you with a fact, or a question.
Oh no.
That water bird, why do you know this?
Because I like birds, dude. How much more do you want me to give you in response to that?
I'm going to be honest.
I'm a twitcher.
I know. Honestly, I was not expecting the response to be like, I'm into birds.
I just like birds, man. Birds are cool.
Yeah.
I actually just looked it up.
Yeah.
Apparently, the baby coots are like, it's not necessarily the technical term or like the scientific term, but apparently they can be called cootlings, which is quite funny.
Well, I'm a scientist.
Obviously, people call them chicks, but you know, cootlings are a great name. Oh, that's only a tag from Lash. That's frustrating because it means that Cuts goes down to Tomajed. That's actually really unfortunate. Great nade, follow up, now 11 HP. They know it's Lash the AWPer, and that's why he's going to face, and he gets both kills. I said they get both kills. Tomajed gets Lash, which is an incredible play to make when he was that low. And then Naz will follow up. How about that? And that is a spicy entry.
Tomajed's having one of those games, isn't he?
He is, and unfortunately for Lash, he's also had one of those moments. He's got a kill, he's got a tag on a player which you would think getting that shot done from that angle would have probably been a frag and not just the tag, and then he's in Tomajed's bag.
I feel like when you're having a really good game like this, it also requires a certain amount of luck. Like when just the game just starts going in your favor. Seeing how we've got an eco coming up, Trav, I feel like everyone who's really into a topic, they have like a few facts where it's like, oh, I can't wait to tell someone this.
Yeah,
hit me.
True.
The floor is yours. No pressure.
The scientific name for a magpie, the Latin name, is Pika Pika. Mandarin ducks are the only ducks to live in trees, I think. Mandarin and wood ducks.
Trees.
They live in trees. They nest in trees, I'm pretty sure. Look at Cuts, hang on. I would love to keep telling you bird facts, but no, behave. Oh my goodness, okay. It's not for free. Oh, almost a follow-up. I don't know how bro is not dead yet, but there we go. Okay, I think it's going to be okay now, because they've...
Fruguti gets the first kill of his game.
Yeah, true. An important one as well. Actually, they've gone into the FAMAS. This round is not as easy as we thought it would be, so...
And the two
I can't talk to you about...
armor.
I can't talk to you about Mandarin ducks anymore. By the way, please do Google Mandarin duck. They are beautiful.
Oh, okay.
Do it right now.
They taste lovely.
No, they don't. Don't eat them.
Oh my god. What?
Told you.
You could have given me a million guesses, and I would have never, ever have come up with that.
Yeah. They look incredible, and they are like, I wouldn't say common in the UK, but they do exist in the UK.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
The mandarin duck is a rare bird, only seen wild every 10 years or so. Oh, in Connecticut.
Yeah. If you look at the like the map on the Wikipedia page for it, it shows that they're like an introduced
Europe,
breeding
Asia.
resident in the UK. Unfortunately, the females are really drab and brown. They're quite pretty.
Yeah.
But if you look at the male and you're like, oh, okay, well, yeah, the male's showing off, isn't he?
It's like a pheasant. Or is it
Exactly.
the other way around?
Well, no, I mean that is kind of true. You are right.
I can't remember what one of the male, like either the male or female, is colourful and cool, and one's drab.
Yes, that is the case with the pheasant as well. I'm pretty sure. There's one
And
other thing.
peacocks.
Did you know that swifts? Have you seen a swift before? The ones that basically fly all the time.
Swifts.
They're like an arrow shape in the sky.
Oh, yeah. It's the ones you draw when you're a child.
Yeah. They sleep on the wing.
What?
They can sleep while they fly.
Hardly.
Yeah, they can.
Yo, that's really cool.
I just gotta say something. I'm just cracked up laughing because our producer has posted a picture of a cooked duck in our Discord after he's listening to this conversation, and one of the server admins has reacted to it with a question mark, and I just find that so funny because Eiling has no idea what on earth that is a reference to.
Oh my god, it's so funny that it's Aisling of all people as well. Oh my god, she's just, I'm so confused. Oh, that's so funny. Oh my god. Okay, well, annoyingly enough, the keyed stars, oh my god, they almost gave Lash that kill, that clutch rather. But the good old keyed stars who won the pistol round have not been able to find much success elsewhere. And a good old team kill in the mixture as well is not going to help their case.
Anyway, I've regained my composure.
That's too funny.
Is round 9, 5-3 for ShindeN, and Naz will hold on to the aggression and connector really well. This is some of the Naz we want to see, and some of the Naz that we saw in some of the other games ShindeN have played so far this season. He's up to 5-7 now. Good multi-kill. Kicks off the T round here perfectly. And really, these sort of scenarios are so difficult because Tornay, Lash and Daruba, you're 3v5, and sure, Naz is low, but how do you even find a recovery kill in this scenario? That was one of the previous rounds where they had that lower buy, where they double pushed Banana, which is fine, but they got caught by the default, and now the MP on the Daruba has to kind of do it all as Fraguti pushes the angle. Molotov and a Dink does bait in Tornay for the trade kill. But there's more than enough time for ShindeN to sort this out, and Tommy just doesn't care. He swings everyone. Lash is making out with an enemy in the smoke. That's a bit of a surprise, but they know he's there, and he's dead.
I think it's a bit of a surprise for him as well. It's like, oh, who's touching me? Okay, this is starting to become, like, super dominant. Why did I just sound like an American frat boy for a second? But ShindeN 6-3 after a 0-3 start. They have now won 6 rounds on the trot. Tomajed's having one of those games, but also like everyone else has kind of had their moments when needed. And Kid Stars are just forcing it every round, Trav. They're just buying in every round. And they're also being read like a book. Somehow Lash gets away with this with 2 kills and a dink. That is the criminal part of this round, because ShindeN play it perfectly. They actually play it perfectly. And Lash somehow gets away with all of that. And then in a similar vein, so does Matios towards shore.
Six. They're going to be hoping, Key Stars, that will be the scoreline at the end of the first half. It's still possible. Faguti and Naz are very, very low. And there we go. I think it's really important to mention for Key Stars that don't forget I spoke about how I didn't love ShindeN's... Naz? Okay. He's surely not going to win this one, though. There we go. Just wanted to make sure there wasn't a crazy clutch in order there. Don't forget I spoke about how Keed Stars got that 3-0 start in the half, and I didn't like ShindeN's decision to force buy. I let them get to a 3-0 beginning on the CT side. Well, that was the first round they'd won since we made that point. So, ShindeN will be delighted with however this half ends from here to get a good number on their T side on what is a very CT map.
So what have we learned today, kids? If you force buy every round, eventually you'll succeed. Economy is a myth. Just gotta hope that someone has a round and a multi-kill in them, and then you're back on track. Okay, Lash can do it with the rifle. He's got the AWP out. It's time for him to step into the big leagues. 8-6 as a AWPer on the CT side of Overpass going into round 11 doesn't feel acceptable, especially considering how he kind of got the only impact in that previous round, and it was on a rifle. But right now towards A, he's got the Dragon Lore out, he's got the style, he's got the bling. But can he walk the talk as him and the GOAT, Mr. Cuts, are going to be walking and taking control towards long? Intriguing enough, Cuts might actually go and head a step further. Not just sit around the corner, but maybe even encroach forward. Faguti is holding for him. It's kind of a game of chicken. Who's going to break? It looks like it's going to be Faguti that takes the step forward. He gets the kill though, but Lash now over towards Long, gets one and gives him space to work with. Tane comes up and somehow finds 2 on the rotation, and Lash has done really well, Trav, at just isolating this control and staying alive, keeping the attention away from Bank and CT where his teammates are retaking from.
Oh, Ivy sees the head. That's a good bit of information. How does he want to play this one? There's a rifle on the floor in front of him. He can go for a pick here with the AWP, then immediately switch to the M4, and he's seen that none of them are here. He knows that he can maybe stay around green bin, and that's going to be an unexpected position. Headshot position being played by Naz is really good. Big leg shot. This should be a T round from here. They're just not anywhere near defusing the bomb. Quick kill from Naz. Doesn't need to peek anymore, but he still goes for the frag because he knew the time was up. Ivies will get all the kills. He'll die to the bomb, but it doesn't matter. It's another T round for ShindeN that maybe has gotten away from Keed Stars.
Yeah, like, I mean, this round, you almost feel like it's played perfectly by Tane and Lash when they get those 3 kills for the price of only 1 death. But then it's just his post plant that is immovable, and Ivies hasn't actually had that much of an impactful half. But right there, steps up. And they're going to try and just end off this half with a B rush. 4 players here though. That's going to be the issue. But Abiz gets the opening kill. Naz in tandem. And everything's just falling apart for Keed Stars.
It's so comfortable, isn't it? I really think 8 on T will be way too much for Keed Stars to recover from. And Lash will not be winning this 1v4. Does take Faguti out, but... Oh my god. They're taking no prisoners here, ShindeN. Double molly and an HE immediately in toward that CT rotation. Kind of crazy that they're willing to just... Oh my god, they're throwing everything. They've used every single piece of utility, even though Lash has no chance to win the round anyway. They're being super diligent, and that is what confirms 8 on the T side. Don't forget, the first 3 rounds on CT went to Keyed Stars. That could have set them up for so much more. It did not. ShindeN in control. See you in a minute.
Welcome back to the Bird Show. That is ShindeN versus Keyed Stars. It's map 2, it's Overpass, and it's ShindeN currently up 8-4 on their map pick after an immensely successful T-side campaign.
Yeah, just definitely very, very comfortable, isn't it, for ShindeN? And yeah, like there's a reason why in some of those low buy rounds and some of the rounds in the middle of the half I was going on a bit of a tangent about birds. One, you did ask me. Secondly, the game hasn't really lived up to the close game that I was hoping it could be.
We've got requests from the match admins, so
exactly.
That conversation isn't over yet.
Anyway, let's see how the pistol goes. Good kill from Tornado to trade out IVs. That will force them up connector. They can now go toward the A-bomb set pretty quickly. But guess what? Abyss is still here. 1 shot, 1 kill, 2 guns, 2 kills. And the dualies will eat up the T attack on that A-bomb site. Lash now 1v4. Not much to do. He'll finally find Abyss, but the worst part for him is the bomb is still dropped around Divider.
Oh. Okay. Very dominant round for ShindeN. They win out the second pistol round, and with no bomb being planted. I think that could just be all she wrote that round, just from start to finish. It's not only like the double Julius, but it's just Friguti getting an instant first bullet headshot on the monster guy. And then obviously here, Abiz kind of puts insult to injury. I would expect a force buy back just because of the scoreline and because of the nature of the region. And guess what? I am a genius. Who could have guessed?
Yeah, here we go. You're a genius in your own heart, and sometimes you're a genius in my heart too. And that's all that really matters, I think.
You know what? I'll take the sometimes. That's better than nothing.
Good dig. At least that's 1 kill back, but Cuts is down to 2. You mentioned, you know, he's kind of been one of those players that maybe lags behind a little bit on the kill count. We know that to be the case from all the times we've watched him on previous teams. He's been on kind of okay map 1. I mean, he won 2 rounds for his team all by himself, but it did seem a little bit out of left field. It has proved to be that way. Hasn't really had a huge amount of impact since then. More often than not, it leaves it up to players like Lash and York to do quite a lot of hard work, and maybe Matthias on the Deagle as well. That's a great second frag. Ivy's has come all the way around from long though, and he could have a bit of damage to do coming in from this flank. Thing is, there's a player cutting him off. He will now see the utility being thrown. That's a freebie. Now the players playing long bathroom will go back and trade him. So actually didn't get as much from that as we thought he could have.
Needs to be a big hold. Friguti in the crosshairs, being wrapped, and he gets 2 kills. Has he done enough? Oh. It is indeed. Naz comes up, and you can see Lash is just not really ready for the rotation because of how much time Friguti took down, and it's a 3v2 for Keedstars where they just can't convert those trades and allow for the players to get separated. But honestly, I'm just so not a fan of like aggression on the CT side here. It just feels so unnecessary, and the classic anecdote of, oh, we tried to end the game too early, too quickly.
Yeah, I get that. I really do get that. I think they've managed to get away with it there, but Lash could have so easily have won that clutch. I mean, he had an M4 picked up, right, and that was against an MP9 at mid-range, so thankfully just the MP9 comes out on top on this occasion. Could have easily not. Good catch from Cuts. Naz will go down trying to take short. An annoying smoke push for Naz to deal with. Gets caught off guard. Oh, surprised he gets one there, considering there was a player on the fountain position already. Double monster push. That should surely not work in CS2. It's one of my least favourite things to do. In CSGO, it was excellent, because you could play smoke fade and more often than not get the kill as that smoke did fade. But on CS2, it's a little bit more difficult to make it work, and because of that, they only go 1 for 1. And there's the easy trade coming through on the A-bomb site. So only Friguti left, and there's not much for him to do anymore, I'm afraid. He'll be keeping his M4.
Well, I feel like it was bound to happen eventually because of the 2 force buys we lost. We saw ShindeN lose on Dust 2. Well, we've got this moment. Trav, coming straight from the horse's mouth. Are you a knower of the Polish chickens?
Los Kogurtos? I don't know.
Based.
I don't know what you mean by that, I'm sorry.
Ashling wanted us to start talking about those chickens with afros. Actual divas, her exact words, Polish chickens.
Ah, okay, well I know about the ducks that have those like weird little like tufts.
Ducks?
There's ducks that have those little like hairdos and tufts of feathers as well. But I know what you mean about the chickens. One was like the massive like afro type, where you can't even see their eyes properly sometimes. Like, cause
damn, dude, you are a knower.
Yeah. What do you mean?
You wrong career path.
Listen, man.
Ooh.
Good night.
Okay. Well, This is a conversation we shall delve into at a later date, because
sure.
you've got an encyclopedic knowledge, apparently, of wildlife.
Well, I've spent, most of my life liking birds and liking animals and watching documentaries, so...
Did you watch the Dinosaurs documentary on Netflix?
I haven't yet. I know that's very highly rated.
Okay, buddy. You can't talk about... Talk the talk, but don't walk the walk. I hear you.
Okay, whatever. I understand it's big on TikTok right now. I understand lots of people are playing the Drag Path 21 Pilots song with it. That's the main meme right now. I've seen hundreds of TikToks playing that sort of thing.
Oh, this is bull knowledge I don't even know.
Yeah, but I haven't watched it like you have. So that's the issue. A good force from the MP9 there from Tom and Jed to get the kill on Matthias. That brings it back into a 4v4. But the problem is they're completely locked out of that B-bomb site. Only really a Deagle on Heaven to worry about. So Keystars should get an after plant and should being underlined in italics, get their 6th round.
I think ShindeN are kind of not... Well, it's the classic of just understand where you sit in the round. Are they really going to win a 4v4 retake where they would get to the bomb site like around now? Self-awareness is sometimes the most important thing in a game of Counter-Strike.
Self-awareness is also knowing when to stop talking about birds and cast the round. Not now, obviously.
Exactly. Oh, that's, I mean, we played the self-awareness correct.
Exactly.
So you're just praising yourself here, Trav.
Now I'm embarrassed.
But the reason why they go for a save there and don't force an issue is because this round, eco. They'd be saving for the next round, where the rifles come out. Okay, just save. Fruguti has the M4 picked up. There's 3 players who have armor with varying weapons. It's still a very dangerous round. And even if they don't win, damage is also a very important factor, leading into a gun round where they would hope to win, and then therefore could break the economy. So for the Keystars, it's just a round they got to be really careful about, and then comes the gun round.
Yeah, actually, a bit more of a contest in the second half than maybe I thought it would be, actually. The contest has gone on a little while longer, and ShindeN are fighting, but in this round... Sorry, Keystars are fighting, but in this round, ShindeN have put a bit more pressure on toward middle, and even though there were 2 players kind of playing together, they've both been picked off by the MP9 and the FAMAS, and now Torne is pushing alone. That could be very awkward. Deagle spotted, could get rounded on. Thing is, Lash is waiting for any of these 2 players to go for a bit of aggression, and they're both not really looking back toward Divider. They could get flanked. Torne's gone up a very long way. And there you go. Ivy's feels like he needs to move. That forces him into Lash. Torne finds Tom and Jed, and it is spinning back around in their favour.
Bomb site? Oh my god, I was going to say it should be overrun and it should be the advantage for Keystars, but that will not be the case. M4 gets gifted a freebie, and Fruguti just needs to make sure he can play with his teammate. A dink through the boxes, 3 HP, Exubia sweating for his life, and Fruguti comes in with the round winning and potentially even game and series winning play.
Oh man, that's a rough one for Keystars. They actually did a really good job at recovering it at that early portion of the round, especially after losing the opening 2 players. Even if you're against a half buy, going down 3v5 early on T Overpass is really difficult to recover. Here are the opening 2 that I was talking about. They play that pincer around front bathroom and connector really well. But that extra kill with just that USP on pillar is crazy. It makes such a huge difference. Really gives that clutch an opportunity to come about. And now ShindeN are 2 away from a 2-0.
Okay. The The fact that Ivy's actually kind of like expects that play is also a bit crazy. And he's got the crosshair in the right position. I'm pretty sure Coots' shadow may be poked out, and that gave Ivy's the heads up. Ooh, overextends though. Gets maybe a bit too big for his boots there, too big for his breeches. And Ab is now kind of left alone, has to fall back. Lash has got Tomajed stuck in a corner. A double flashbang will allow him to escape. Fraguti deals with Exubia on the lurk, and Torne and Lash, both players are in the known now. And I think it's just a matter of time before we hit 12. Or is there still some fun to be played out? Tomajed not cleared. And yeah, that's the bomb. Tane, 40 HP. He couldn't be encircled, I think, any harder. And that's going to be 12 for ShindeN.
The favourites, I'm going to call it. Maybe it's not entirely surprising. It's not like I'm taking a massive prediction here. It just so happens that ShindeN are the highest ranked team in the VRS that are competing in this particular ESL Challenger League Cup.
What rank are they?
74th in the VRS. Yeah, pretty comfortable it feels like it's going to be for them to at least make the regional final in South America. That'll be played out later on in the year. That's a bit of a cash bonus, of course, for making it there. They get $8,000 as a team if they do win this cup, and this is a big step toward it. Probably a step that will be taken in the matter of 1 minute 30 seconds, because the buy for Keyed Stars here is not all too great. Ivys is very stark, does well to get one considering he's being heavily pressured, but that opens up more angles for the T side to maybe deliver. And they finally remove that AWP. Mac 10 does find one kill, and Torne upgrades to the AK. Pretty handy, but there is Tomajed going searching, and that could be a good recovery kill. Torne is still waiting to see if that happens, but when you're this low, even if you do wait in a position like this, it might not work out for you. It's checked properly by Tomajed, and that will make it back into a 3v3.
Tomajed doesn't care. He's just going to keep on moving forward. Rubia in connector. The Tech 9 does good damage, but will still fall to his might. Fraguti, right position on the bomb site. Naz is also rotated up. 2 players to defend the site, as Tomajed just confirms, yeah, there's no one coming toilets. They have to commit towards the A bomb site here. Fraguti's teammate has actually abandoned him. Naz has decided to rotate towards Bank. Fraguti gets one, and then Tomajed actually just spams him through the smoke to find the third and final kill for him in this round, in the map, in the series, as ShindeN very easily dispatches of Keyed Stars in a 2-0 manner, and on their map pick of Overpass, they have showed the depth of their map pool.
Yeah, kind of a funny game and a funny evening, because of course, like we weren't sure whether this game was even going to go ahead earlier. No, Keyed Stars managed to at least get a forfeit win in that PGL qualifier to get to the close qualifier for Astana, so they're not like completely unsuccessful tonight. I think it was Game Hunters who they managed to get the forfeit win over. Game Hunters are playing their ESL Challenger League game right now, and they did actually lose to Bounty Hunters, I believe, in that particular game. So not a good night for Game Hunters.
The duality.
Yeah, exactly, right? The Bounty Hunters, Game Hunters matchup. The Battle of the Hunters did go the way of the Bounty, and Game Hunters are going to come out empty-handed from today, whereas ShindeN, it could have been a forfeit win, it wasn't, but the game still may as well have been an email.
Yes, and we can take a look at the bracket. There's still actually the game going on that will decide who Keyed Stars will be playing in the lower bracket semi-finals. The winner of Uno Mile versus Guara. And Uno Mile are a map to the good and also 9-4 up. But in the upper bracket, ShindeN will be playing. It says LP on the graphic, but it's Dash on HLTV. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just
they used to be called LP. They're now called Dash, and it is like a skin site, their name.
Okay.
Maybe that's the reason. I don't know.
That makes sense. So that is going to be the upper bracket final. Whoever wins that, which will be played out on Wednesday, will be competing for the grand prize of $8,000 and also a spot in the South American finals, which they will be joining, if I'm not mistaken, MIBR, who won the first one. Yes, MIBR beat Odic. So it's a really good opportunity for, honestly, a team, any team still in the qualifier right now. They're not going to be playing up against an MIBR or a Sharks or an Odic or a Red Canids or an Imperial. It's a ShindeN or a Dash. It's a lot more sizable.
Yeah, that is true. And I mean, and to be fair, if you look at the results that ShindeN have had, over the course of the year so far, they've actually had some pretty respectable wins against higher tier South American opposition. They've had a lot of practice playing these sort of opposition as well, and don't forget in Cup 1 they beat Sharks, like you were talking about earlier. So yeah, they definitely have the ability to cause some issues in that cup, and we'll see if that will be the case or not as we go forward in the ESL Challenger League in South America in season 51. We've seen lots of these sort of teams like really make a run historically, but not really much come of it. This is an opportunity, as you say, to when you're the highest ranked team in a cup, where maybe in previous cups you'd be nowhere near the highest ranked team, to really get that slot that they desperately want. So we'll see if that comes through. But for now, that is it from us tonight. I believe we've got North America to come for ECL tonight. So we won't be there though. We need some sleep after a long day. And we'll be seeing you very soon for more in South America or in EU. Cheers everyone, and good night.
There's a lot of NXTs around, but there's only one Ivies, and this time...
That's why I thought, okay, I should have stuck to my guns. Lash, unfortunately, he's not going to be keeping his gun.
Uh-oh.
This all does not look like it's going to be surviving. Oh. Important. Yeah, incredible. Oh my goodness.
And it misses a shot on Tane, hits the leg shot though. Will that matter? Fraguti spots out the Orpa, knows Tane's low.
Cootlings are a great name. Oh, I would love to keep telling you bird facts, but no, behave. Oh my goodness, okay. Headshot position being played by Naz is really good. Big leg shot. This should be a T round from here. They're just not anywhere near defusing the bomb. Quick kill from Naz. Doesn't need to peek anymore, but he still goes for
the bomb site. Oh my god, I was gonna... Also a bit crazy. And he's got the crosshair and the right position. Yeah, there's no one coming toilets. They have to commit towards the A bomb site here. Fraguti's teammate has actually abandoned him. Naz has decided to rotate towards Bank. Fraguti gets one, and then Tomagen.